Did you know that the hiss is a dark side dragon in Star Wars? I'm the Dragon Queen. Today's not a review. I thought I'd talk about Star Wars. I am not old enough to have seen it in the theater, but I hang around with men who have seen it in the theater. But I grew up around the age of 12. I was introduced into Star Wars. And it became everything to me. So I thought I'd talk about it, show some things to explain why this subject hurts so much for me. So we'll start with one of my first pieces. This is a vintage Boba Fett. At the time of his acquirement, and we were young when we got him, and a couple stormtroopers and the AT-AT pilot, we thought they were G.I. Joes. Had no idea they were Star Wars figurines. No idea. They looked different, but we played with them with the G.I. Joe guys because we didn't know any better. I seen Empire Strikes Back first on TV, was introduced by my cousins. And at first, I thought it said Umpires Strikes Back. I thought it was a baseball movie because of the name. Because of the name. And I got hooked on it. And for years, and this happened to me twice, I saw The Empire Strikes Back and I saw Return of the Jedi. Because I thought that's all that existed. It wasn't until years later that I discovered that A New Hope existed. And this happened to me for the Aliens trilogy as well. I started off with Aliens, saw Aliens 3, and I want to say there was a 12-year gap before I discovered there was an Alien movie. This impacted my childhood. I want to show you why this impacted my childhood. Where is it? Let's see here. Do we have it? We have it somewhere. I am not prepared. Here we are. I'll show you something. I don't know if you can see any of this, but this is over 20 years of lore in this book. 20 years of lore. And I've read every single one of these at one point in my existence. Every single one. This does not cover the comics in any way. These are just the books. It doesn't cover the video games in any way. These are just these books. This is the Vong series. I don't remember which one of the Vong series this is. It's been a hot minute since I've touched any of them. There's a lot to unravel for someone who loves Star Wars, not Disney Star Wars, loves Star Wars. To see the lore, to see everything that was a part of your existence get ripped out from underneath of you is heartbreaking. It is extremely heartbreaking. I have this came off of this, but this is Obi-Wan. This is Sir Allen Guinness in the Cantina. This is one of the first pieces in my collection outside of the action figure of Boba Fett. And you want to know, I'm talking about Star Wars in general. I'm not talking about an atrocity. I'm going off on my rant about my childhood getting trampled on. That's what I'm going off on. Yes. So my brother found this at a garage sale at the church when we were growing up. It came with a giant Luke Skywalker, which I have in my case over here. Star Wars was so impactful, and they took the 20 years of it, at least 20 years of books, of characters, of building. Yeah, they were different writers. Yeah, they had different ideas, but at least you could follow along. They didn't have to be cohesive because you could take one book and know, cool, that story ended. Here we can go off and do another story. The only one that made it cohesive on any level was Timothy Zahn, which I'm going to show you that. This is made out to my husband, but that we got all three of these. This series was so impactful. Thrawn is the greatest bad guy ever written. Ever. No one has convinced me of anyone else being written better. No one. You want to know what? My husband was required to read this entire trilogy while TDP. I made him read it. It was a requirement because he had no idea who Thrawn was. Thrawn is my favorite Star Wars character. And you sat there and you didn't get Timothy Zahn for Ahsoka and made him look stupid. We got the Temu version of Thrawn while watching Ahsoka. I don't understand. You have this writer who can't write because you're denying him the ability to write. Why? Why? I even went and got these signed by him because I love these characters that he created. He was the best thing about Star Wars after George Lucas. The best thing. He gave fans something to give ideas from, to create role-playing games, to create board games. I have a board game up there with James Earl Jones' voice on VHS, still sealed, but you're supposed to put it in and play the game. This is how big this was. This seeped into video games, action figures, books, comic books, for 20 years between the original trilogy and the prequels, nothing but books, nothing but video games, nothing but role-playing games. Nothing. 20 years. We saw, we supported, we spent our money, and I know I spent my money. I have a whole case right there of nothing but Star Wars stuff. Original Millennium Falcons, AT-ATs, the Wampas, the Striders. I do have some Star Wars sequel stuff because I got it on clearance. I have Mando stuff. I bought it in season 1 because I loved Mando. I did. I loved season 1 and I loved season 2. And you just take it and you throw it down the trash. See, we've got original church. This is what these were on. This is an original trilogy box on VHS. Original. Yes, it opens up. You can see all the stuff. See all the stuff. It opens up on both sides. I found this. It costed me maybe $2, but I got it signed. You know, it's crazy. I went to an extent. I don't know if you know who that is. Don't know who. This is the original Boba Fett. The original. I got some stuff from his estate. Mara Jade. Signed by the original actress. Signed by her. This woman was the face of Mara Jade for years. She got no recognition, nothing, but she continued to do it. Why? Because fans loved her. And the only way, I'm sorry, Pro is wrong. No one I don't want to see another Darth Vader story. We have 2 already. There's probably a third one somewhere. I can't remember right now. We have 2 already. Do we really want another Darth Vader story? No, I don't. The way to fix this, we have to go back to the world between worlds. I know normies don't understand that stuff. Normies won't get that stuff. Yes, you have to do this. Unfortunately, this is what has to be done because you screwed up so badly. You screwed everything up. You had a chance to course correct. You did none of it. You continued to listen to KK. You continued to give in to everything else. You have to do the world between worlds. The sequel trilogy has to go away. Has to. I mean, if they want to do the coma trick to make it look like it was a bad dream, by all means do it. I don't care. If you want to make it so normies can understand. But the way to do this in Star Wars lore is the world between worlds. And you have to start fresh. You have to recast people who look like the original cast. No CGI. None. I mean none. Do not get a CGI team in here to do over their faces. You want people to accept these individuals as the closest representation of the original cast you can find. And they should be nobodies. Like Mark Hamill was a nobody. Carrie Fisher was a nobody. Han Solo, or Harrison Ford, was the only one with any weight. But you need nobodies. Nobodies. Absolute nobodies. You need to recast them. And you need to start off correctly. Go 20 years after the Empire. Do Heir to the Empire. You can rewrite it so that Thrawn doesn't die. Make him your bad guy. Create a new Sith. Because I do agree with Lauren on that one. Wherever there's a Jedi, there's a Sith. Because that's how light and dark work. The fact that Luke is the only Force user in the galaxy? No. No. And the Academy series proves that. The original Academy series proves that. When Luke founds the Jedi Academy, there are plenty of Force users. There are plenty. There are people in the galaxy who can use the Force. They always exist. To have one pop up and be able to use the dark side is not that far-fetched. Yes, they could. They could. The problem is they need to bring in a good writer. Stop with this nonsense. Or at least, or multiple writers. Multiple. Not just one. Get a couple. Bring in Zahn. Get your intelligent people in here to write a good script. That is your number one priority. You have to be able to start with a good story. Because if you can't start with a good story, you're losing your audience. That is the problem with all of Hollywood right now. Problem. You're not giving people good stories. You're not putting in effort. Oh, here, I want to fill a quota. Stop it. Stop filling the quota. Stop thinking about it. If you... Yeah. I role-played a character on a role-playing site for 20 years. I based her as Ram Kota's granddaughter. If you don't know who Ram Kota is, he was originally involved in getting the Death Star plans to the Republic in the old legend. It's a minor Jedi who survived the Order 66. It's not far-fetched that these Jedi survived Order 66. It's really not, because it was in canon once upon a time. There were thousands of them that avoided getting killed, but they never were main characters. You only saw Obi-Wan and Yoda. You didn't see any of the other characters. There was always Wikipedia things in canon to tell you another Jedi existed. Always. And you had the fans creating their own theories or own characters because they knew it could happen. They were realistic about it. But KK went and threw the 20 years of lore out the window. 20 years of books that I showed you from the beginning. 20 years. You took all of that and you said, oh, this doesn't exist. But we have no plan. What? How? It boggles my mind that you threw 20 years of lore out the window and then you didn't have a plan. You didn't have a story. How did this happen? Because you wanted to make it yourself? Make it for you? That's not how that works. That's not how any of that works. I'm sorry. I had to rant about this because this is, you keep talking about it. They keep talking about it on Pro Show, that Park Place, everywhere else. And I have to weigh in. I'm unique. Yeah, no, I'm not going to apologize. I'm just going to show off all my stuff. There's a good chance for me to show off all my stuff. It just aggravates me that they can't put any thought into a good script and that they have to go back and use the World Between Worlds to fix their screw up. And you're probably not getting a good chunk of the fans back no matter what. Because a lot of them are like, we're done. We're done with you. Well, it's not just Star Wars. We've seen it. They're screwing up their parks. They're screwing up Marvel. Here's how I would have handled Galaxy's Edge. Star Wars person. I would have made 2 entrances. And it would have been a bigger park because of my idea. 2 entrances. 1 entrance for the Republic, 1 entrance for the Empire. You get in there. You have all kinds of targets and stuff. We give you the old laser tag guns. Have you shoot at the targets, depending on Republic or Empire. And then when you feel like you're ready, I'm going to give you the old laser tag armor. And when you get out of the area of where you're in, it's going to be a gigantic battlefield where you can shoot at each other with your laser tag guns. And it's going to be a vast open area because we're not just going to have the laser tag going on. You can walk around and have the bantha walking around, people being able to walk around on the bantha, and people being able to build lightsabers. And here's how I would do that. Again, 2 entrances, 2 different temples. Make them, one look like a Jedi temple, one look like a Sith temple. And as you're walking down the halls, you can see all the ancient Sith or Jedi, depending on which side you choose. And you know who I would have in the middle of each of these? You have a holographic image of either Yoda teaching you how to build a lightsaber, depending and whatever color you want, or the greatest Sith, which is a debatable subject, depending on who you talk to. You have your choice of Darth Nihilus or Darth Revan. But Revan went both ways, so it's debatable. But you could have a hologram telling you to hate your enemy. And then they could have mock lightsaber battles. You know, they don't have to fight each other. Let them wander the grounds with the lightsabers. If they have a lightsaber, something unique happens in the land. Interaction. Massive interaction. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous that they couldn't. You put in a world that's not even in any of the movies and expect people to show up to it. And here, let's put in a Hoth area. You could have built on a Hoth area where you could have one giant AT-AT up there. You know, I would make the strip of Epcot where you could ride an AT-AT down that strip to Planet Hollywood. Why not? Why not? I don't understand. I don't understand. This is ridiculous. Yeah, you could have put a Hoth area with a bunch of snow. Make it indoors. Make it a big, giant indoor thing where there's snow or fake snow. Air conditioning. Freeze your butt off. But in Florida, it'd be probably great. Yeah. I don't understand why they had to do this. And like I said, the men I talk to every Friday when we play D&D, they're like, this is terrible. That's terrible state of Star Wars. Terrible. They get all mad about it too. We don't sit there and contemplate, we get mad and we get revenge mad. That's the thing. I'm not a Gen Xer, like I said. I'm not old enough to see the originals in the movie theater. I'm in between. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I'll admit that right out. I don't care for Harry Potter. Mainly because I feel like the adults interfere too much in Harry's growth. I tried watching the movies. I can't. I can't even read them because I just can't. It doesn't feel like he's the chosen one at all. Coming from someone who's read a lot of chosen one stories, he just doesn't do it for me. My sister-in-law once liked Harry Potter, and then things got complicated. She entered some kind of contest, I think, how it went with her quilting group and got disqualified because they made a Harry Potter quilt or something. I forgot the story. She lost her interest in Harry Potter after that. I don't know. It's complicated. Very, very complicated. So I just had to rant this morning. Show off my stuff. No one's bothered to ask my opinion. You know, I don't think Grogu is cute anymore. Sorry. That ship has sailed for me. I do have some Grogus. I do have the original animatronic. Because I did like it at first. Do I now? No. He's bipolar. He's bipolar now. And I don't appreciate it. They need to make up their minds with him. No. They should have let him go with Luke. You know advanced healing, force healing, but you don't know how to speak. Yeah, I'll be off here soon, MJ. I just had to get off and I had to rant. So I'm almost done. I'm probably going to go finish some stuff after this. I did return things this morning, so that was achieved. That was achieved before I got on here. But yeah, the way to fix this, you have to go to the world between worlds. You need to recast. You need to let the sequel trilogy go. I don't want to see another Darth Vader movie. I don't want to see. Leave Darth Vader alone. You want Darth Vader involved, you have to retcon the original. You do that, I'm not watching anything you produce anymore. I'm already going to probably suffer through Ahsoka. Just because. I want to see what happens. Other than that, no. You're going to lose me. I won't watch anything anymore from them. Period. I'll go back to watching these on VHS. Just because I know you can't touch those because I have them. Other than that, see, we're gonna try and work on the Reanimator's lights today. See how that goes. I do have the power cord and stuff, so we'll try to wire that today while I'm watching things and doing things. I can lay down and do that. Make sure they're working. Other than that, I got nothing else. So hopefully you have a better day than I've been having. Until next time, hugs for all.